to the fire horse reading that I promised. It's a new moon on the 17th, which is the start of the Chinese fire horse year. It's also an eclipse. There's a lot going on, a lot of changes going on in this new year. Although you might not mark it personally, I think, you know, with a new moon, that's the beginning of another cycle, another moon cycle, another emotional cycle, and you might be feeling something is about to start, possibly, depending on what your zodiac is, what your sign is. What I'm going to do, I've decided I was going to give a bit of a flavour of, I guess, China and that part of the world. So I'm going to be doing an I Ching reading, which is going to be I'm just going to read the character that comes up. I'm not going to go into detail, but I'm just going to cast coins. I'm going to be using for the collective, for anybody who's watching this, and I hope that's interesting for you. I'm just going to pause the video now while I cast, and then I'll read the character that comes out for all of us. Okay, I'll see you in a moment. Hi, so I'm back with the reading that I did. Now, there are lots of ways you can use the I Ching. You can use coins. There's also a method with marbles. You can use what I have here as well, which is yarrow sticks. That's a lovely way to cast a figure or character. It does take quite a bit longer, so if you're sort of a bit short on time, you can use the coins instead. I do really love using the yarrow stalk, so if I can, if I've got the time, it's just a lovely way to work with the energy that comes through. In any case, I'll tell you what came through. The character is quite an interesting one. I think we can take this as a useful way of approaching your life for the next couple of weeks, this next moon phase, so coming up to the full moon. And it's an interesting character because it's character 41 in the book that I normally use, and it's called Diminishing. And I'll just read you the paragraph that explains what diminishing means in the I Ching as far as this particular author, and it's Stephen Karcher. It's quite a well-known book, How to Use the I Ching. It's the first one I used when I was learning it. I still refer to it. It's still really helpful to look at it. So diminishing is the character, and I'll just read the name, what it refers to. And let's say the imagery that comes with I Ching, it takes a little bit of getting used to as far as what is talked about. Just remember the cultural kind of context that we're talking about here. So it's diminish, lessen, take away, make smaller, weaken, humble, damage, lose, spoil, hurt, blame, criticise, offer in sacrifice, give up, give away, let things settle, concentrate. Diminishing makes things smaller, higher, closer to the spirits and ideals. Gather your energy and send it upward. Withdraw from passionate and emotional involvements. Decrease personal connections. And this reminds me very much of the Hermit, so it could be more of a yin, a receptive time. This fundamentally opens the way to you. This is an enabling divination. Have a plan and follow it. Inquire into your motivations. The 2 platters you use to make your presentation to the higher powers represent the increase of yin energy, the receptive, and the decrease of yang energy, the aggressive. This decrease is the necessary beginning of a new increase to come. The outer limit is there to bring inner development to expression. Something significant is returning. Let go of things. This is how you repair and adjust your relation to the way. It's heavy at first, but lets you be versatile and change with time. Block the expression of anger and passion. This changes the flow of energy. Diminish what is below and augment what is above. Diminish the yang, augment the yin. This connects you to the time so that you can move with it. So we're talking about going inward and taking some time to go inward and find your own connection to, I guess it is your own spirit, your own feelings, and you can help yourself by just taking that time for stillness and making your connection in whatever way you normally would. So I hope that's interesting. It's something a little bit different. I do offer readings. I do them once a year, and it's like a 1-question I Ching reading, which I call a fortune cookie. Depending on when you're watching this, they may or may not be available, but they will be available on if you go to my Facebook page, or if you look on my YouTube, it's got the email address, and you can request a reading if I'm still doing them when you do that. So so there is that as well. So I hope that's interesting. We're going to get into some tarot and oracle cards now, and that's going to be for the new moon period, this fire horse year, and I'll see you again shortly when I've dealt the cards. Hi, so I'm back again with the cards that I've laid out for you. I am going to just stop and get myself some tea, so if you want to do that, let's just take a pause and get ourselves a drink, and then we'll be back with the actual reading. Just to explain what I've done, going on the last part of the reading, the I Ching part, focusing on the connection, your inner connection, and the yin part of your energy. I'm going with some unicorn cards. I've also got some Ask Your Angel cards, tea leaf cards, and I've got cat tarot, so that should lighten things up a bit, because I always love the cat tarot. So if you want to get your tea, whatever tea you want, your brew, then I'll see you again shortly. Hi, so I'm back again with my tea. I've got normal tea. I hope you've got your drink, and we'll get into the reading. So thinking about the yin aspect, we're going into our very feminine nature, and for most people they would have you would veer more towards the yang or more towards the yin. That's just the nature of our human makeup, I think. And it's quite interesting that I find that I veer towards the yang side. So I think it's really helpful for me from time to time to sort of rein in my kind of active, fiery nature and retreat more into the yin, which may come more easily for you. It is a period of doing that for whatever reason. For some of you it might be you've gone through a difficult time, or you've been going through a difficult time emotionally with lots of highs and lows, and going into that I Ching, going into that, looking at that reading, it's saying calm everything down, retreat, go into yourself. It's not about ignoring feelings, but it's more being receptive. We're going more into self-care, looking after our own needs, and really quietening everything down. It's been so, what can I say? There's so much going on in the external world globally. You know, even locally to you, there might be a lot going on. It's really important to take that retreat and reset. It's a bit of a reset, isn't it? You can do that with Reiki, actually, if you meditate. If you haven't been meditating, perhaps do a bit more of that, but it's focusing on the being rather than the doing, and being more receptive to your own inner spirit, really. That's where I'm going with that. Okay, so as I said, I've got the cards out here. I've got some unicorn cards, and we'll just see what comes out. So you can't make this up, can you? So I've got the silence, and it says, be still, for all the answers lie in the silence. So that's another prompt, really, just to take that quiet time for yourself, to find your own answers. Very often you can be so caught up in other people's issues, or other people's, other things going on, that you, especially if you're empathic, you can feel a lot of what's going on around you, and you almost lose touch with your own self, or that is possible. That's why a lot of sensitive people, empaths, really do need to recharge themselves, and maybe not socialise as much as others. It's a real side of introversion, isn't it? You haven't got the same capacity, perhaps, as others to sort of be out there without really recharging. So taking the quiet time, you might need to go out in nature, connect with other than human beings. We're looking out on the water here, so yeah, we want to calm our inner waters, so that we can then really notice the ripples, the tiny, the subtleties of feelings, life, and that's where telepathy resides as well, I think. So you're going into the silence because it's either yourself or someone else has been quite noisy or active, shall I say. There's been a lot of doing. You felt like, I mean, you've done enough, really. You know, you've done so much. You know, you need to rein it in. Yeah, step back a bit. You've got as far as you can with whatever it is you're looking at. If it's a project or some things that you've been dealing with. So there's been a lot of activity, and yeah, so this is reiterating that to calm things down. You've got to a certain point, and it's time to sort of step back now. We've got the success card again, which is actually what we had. I think that maybe it could have been the past couple of readings. It was definitely in the full moon reading that I did recently. So this is more about thinking about where you've done well, and where you haven't done so well, perhaps. Is taking that inventory of things in your life, and you need the silence to do that. And also this is about assessing what you will and won't accept. You know, having a certain standard. We've got the flag here. So it's keeping that high, say high level, you know, the level that you're comfortable with in behaviour or quality of the things that you're doing. It's keeping that high quality standard. You may come up against something that does test you. We've got the apple here. Something that might sort of test you to sort of lower your guard a little bit, and maybe sort of go down a path that you're not, you know, normally speaking would be happy with. And that's why it's really important to withdraw that little bit and sort of, you know, really be able to check in with yourself in that respect. So this might be because there could be someone in your circle, in your outer circle, who is deciding to, you know, spill all the beans about, you know, what you've said to them, like personal stuff. So, you know, that could be a testing thing that could come up for you, you know, people that maybe you've trusted in the past and who haven't proved trustworthy or who haven't proved reliable. They're you know, they're ready to talk about you now. That could be the case. So that could be that what's going to test you, you know. Yeah, and it's parrot. That might be significant for somebody. We've got a parrot in the card. Somebody who just talks and talks and talks. You know, you could talk to, you know, you might sort of know, it's the sort of person, I mean, you could be chatty, it's nice, you know, it's nice to chat. It's the sort of person who would spill the beans about anybody, you know, and if you notice that someone you talk to is, you know, revealing a lot about people, you know, that you don't really know, you know, revealing personal stuff, you've got to think about that, really. They'll probably do the same to you, you know, unless you're, you know, very, very close to someone. But even then, you know, that can still happen, can't it? Yeah, it depends what it is, I guess. But yeah, just be aware of that there is someone who maybe not as trustworthy as you think. So it's something to think about, you know, the way that people treat other people, you know, they could treat you that way as well. So let's just think about that. So this is a positive affirmation really for whatever you have been having success with, that success. Then just continue on, continue on. You've got the horse here. Unicorn actually it is. Yeah. So, you know, where you've got that positive energy, where you've got that positive, you know, energy going forward, that is something to be happy about. Yeah, you're going in the right direction. And because of this, it's time to reward yourself. You've been giving a lot of yourself, and it's time for you to receive. So yeah, we're going into the yin stage. It's the ebb and flow, isn't it, of life, and it's time to receive. Make time to reward yourself. So give yourself those treats. You know, we've had Valentine's Day, and that's the day of love, you know, and it's great to really treat yourself and give yourself something. Go for a massage, or go on a nice day out somewhere, or, you know, just give yourself something rather than, you know, always giving. You know, it's not healthy actually to overgive. We all know that there's something possibly something to look at if you do give too much. So it's time to give to yourself. And it says, and this is really what it is, the balance of giving and receiving is essential to keeping your energy, mood and motivation at a consistently high level. So that's great. That is kind of tying in. So going forward then, let's see what this unicorn, this is the unicorn for the next couple of weeks as well. Interesting. Yeah, the silence, and we've also got mystery, exploring the unknown. So this might be an internal landscape that you're exploring with meditation, or, you know, with going within, or it could be something a bit more external. Maybe doing there's something just around the corner, there's something hidden. And this could come, I've got a full moon here, this is coming up to the full moon. Could be around, you know, in a couple of weeks' time. Something new is going to reveal itself. So there is a little bit of disappointment somewhere. And this is some kind of, let's say, could be actually heartbreak, or some kind of sorrow that you will need to think about and process. It's maybe exploring those feelings around this sorrow, where the, yeah, it's just, I'm just going to take another card. Yeah. This is likely someone around you. Maybe this is where the temptation is. It could be. Wheel of Fortune at the bottom. Yeah. Yeah. It's time to go into a new phase. To leave this behind, I think. So quieten down that activity. There may be some competition over resources. You might have some sort of competition in your work environment, possibly. So this is all about having that cup of tea, cozying up, getting into your Queen of Cups, nurturing energy, but it's about nurturing yourself and going within, going deep and moving into that next phase for yourself. Keeping those standards high by going within, by recognising in the past where maybe you have compromised what you actually wanted to achieve. You know, you've made compromises which haven't worked for you. So that's what I'm getting. And you need this time now to sit back, pay yourself some good attention, and reward yourself for everything that has gone right. You know, it's really good to appreciate, you know, all the things that have gone right for you, and build on this energy in the coming year, I think. Yeah, so it's about, this is, I mean, if you're female, this is about the moon phase as well, isn't it? In a lot of respects, you know. We're building up to the full moon now from Tuesday onwards, but at the moment we need to just sort of step back. We're still possibly thinking about, you know, where we want to go this year. We're still early in the year, aren't we? And yeah, so I think overall the guidance is to get into your more yin state, your more receptive, your more feminine state. Enjoy the company of females in your life, and make sure you're keeping your standards high in behaviour and in keeping your own, being careful with your own energy. That's so important. You know, if you're empathic, really intuitive or sensitive, yeah, keeping that energy high by treating yourself. And I hope you have a good couple of weeks. Keep that activity down, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this, and thanks for listening. See you again soon.